Update show, events, businesses, and people, anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to the Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to the Splash Live. Good to have you with us. Dave Scott of this very snowy Wednesday here in West Bloomfield. Thank you very much for joining us. We have a great show lined up for you today. A lot of local information. We're going to check in with our good friend Lisa Kaplan today and find out all about some exciting things going on over at Maplegrove Center, over at the hospital at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, and much more coming up today in the program. Check in with our basketball teams and a whole lot more. But of course, the big news this morning is our weather. If you've poked your head outside, you'll see that. We'll get all the weather information for you in just a minute. But good morning and thank you for joining us here on the Splash Live. The Splash Live kicks off 90 minutes of live television each and every day, Monday through Friday here on Civic Center TV. Tyler Keefe will be in about a half an hour with the Megacast. All local information, very local here on the Splash, and then we take a quite a slightly wider view of our area a little bit later on with the Megacast. Easy to watch our programming. We're on Civic Center TV, channel 15 on Comcast, channel 99 on AT&T. You'll find our content as well on the web. Go to our website at civiccentertv.com. We got all of our video there, and of course, we have all of our archives as well. You can see a lot of other information, community information, and all of our other programming that has already aired. Go back and watch it over again if you missed something. You can also watch us on social media every day. We are on Facebook Live this morning and also on YouTube. Just search for Civic Center TV and you'll find us. And on a bad weather day like today, always a good idea to keep the radio on. 89.3 Lakes FM. We'll continue throughout the day to do our very best to keep you up to date on hazardous conditions, any problems in the area, and a whole lot more. When something happens here in the community, always a good idea to check in. 89.3 Lakes FM. So let's start with the weather this morning, and we have a really messy weather day here in West Bloomfield. Winter storm warning is in effect right now in the greater West Bloomfield area, and reading from the National Weather Service for the details on this winter storm warning, it is in effect till 8 o'clock tonight. Heavy snow expected. They're saying accumulations of 6 to 8 inches. Now, you got up this morning and you said, wait a minute, this is a little overblown. Hang in there. What we have right now is a tease. The majority of the snow is coming up later on today. This winter storm warning affects us here in greater West Bloomfield and all of Oakland, Macomb, and Washtenaw County is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Travel is going to be very difficult. Conditions could be very, very snowy. I mean, it's kind of obvious. And this is all the result of a narrow band of light snow that has come into our area and kicked in here about 4 a.m. It's going to be building and more snow throughout the day. If you are going to be traveling, which isn't really the best idea on a day like today, make sure you've got some extra supplies, especially if you're going to be doing any long distance traveling. Just make sure you've got some extra supplies in your car. And if you're going to be traveling locally, and we haven't had a lot of snow yet this year, just do the one simple thing if you do nothing else. Get a scraper or something to clear your windows, and don't get out on the road until you've got all of your windows clear, because you do definitely want to be able to see what's going on. For local travelers, that's the key. If you're going to work today or going to school, and many of our businesses, some of them are going to be closing if they haven't already. Most of the schools in the area are closed. They originally planned to just close for the afternoon, but after what happened overnight, most of the schools have closed for the entire day. And a lot of businesses and services could, if the snow continues to move in the way we expect, could actually close down later on in the day. Now, if you get out on the roads, I got some video here. Let's roll that back to the very beginning, guys, because I want to see that video from the very beginning, if you can roll that. If you get on the roads, this is what you're going to see right now. The main surface streets are really not that bad. The Oakland County crews have been out. They've done a pretty good job. This is driving in Troy earlier this morning, but as we go down the side streets and you turn into your subdivisions and these other side streets, there's no way that the county and any other local municipalities around the area are going to be able to keep up. They'll do the best they can, but it's going to be very difficult. So that's what you're going to encounter. And if you watch right here, when you're going around those curves, you want to slow down a little bit because I slipped a little bit right there. So just be careful. That is what you're going to encounter now. Now, later on in the day, I expect we're going to have a real hard time keeping up with all this. And so do be aware, hazardous driving all day. Let's take a look at the radar right now in our area and see, as of this morning, what we have going on. And you can see that we're right in the very beginning of this band of snow. Those green areas are the heavier bands of snow. Temperatures are kind of high right now. They're going to be falling a little bit throughout the day, and that's going to make whatever the road crews are doing to the surfaces of the streets a little bit more difficult for it to have impact. But you can see we're right on the front side of this, and we don't have a larger view of the radar, but if we did, you would see that this goes on for quite a while. Biggest snow expected later on today. So what we got right now, just a small trace of what we're going to be expecting throughout the day. So we haven't moved a lot of snow off of our driveways and sidewalks this year. Very little snowfall. Today might be the first or second opportunity you get to do that. So I thought I would share with you Dave Scott's 5, maybe 6 snow blowing tips, and you're going to get out there. First of all, do it a couple of times. You know, if you got a snow, there's a pretty big snow blower on your screen, but the snow blower, and there's some real big snow moving gear there, but the snow blower that we have at Civic Center TV that Tyler and I are going to be using this afternoon, well, first of all, we're not going to get that much snow, but it's nowhere near that big. A lot of you have that little snow blower, you know, with a small little engine, and some of you might have the electric snow blower that doesn't move a lot of snow. So you might want to get out on the driveway in the next hour or so. Get what you have off the driveway, and then do it a couple of times. It's a lot of fun to get out there. It's not going to be that cold today, and do be careful. But you might, tip 1, you might want to clear your driveway a couple of times. Second tip, don't fight the wind. Use the wind for you. So if the wind is blowing, make sure that you've got the snow blower blowing the snow in the direction of the wind. So I always kind of get there, lick my finger, hold it up for a second, figure out which way the wind is blowing before I get started, and then I'll start on that side of the driveway or sidewalk, and then use the snow and the wind to help. So always start upwind. That's my next step. Throw snow to the right if there's very little wind. I don't know why that makes a difference, but it seems to make it easier. And then throw the snow as far as you can. You can adjust that up-down thing, that snow blower directional thing. You know, don't point it so it's straight up, because then the snow is not going to go very far. But kind of push it down a little bit, and it'll keep the snow out of your face, out of the wind, and it'll get it further away from the driveway. Now, I don't know that this snow is going to last for a while, but you should plan, taking a look at the weather forecast, you should plan that we're going to get some more snow. You may have to get out and do the driveway again in the next couple of days. You pile all that snow right up against the edge of the driveway, could be a mess. So get out, enjoy, make some angels in the backyard, have fun with your snowblower. If you have one, if you're shoveling, do be very, very careful not to overexert yourself. Take a break. A lot of people get themselves, especially elderly people and people that aren't in great shape, get themselves in trouble moving snow. First big snow of the year. Be careful, my friends, in West Bloomfield. As we mentioned earlier, some of the schools and businesses have already closed. Look for additional schools to close, and not so much schools, but additional businesses and programs that you have later on in the day. I would double check to make sure that all those are going to be going on. I expect that we'll see a lot of cancellations before the day is over. Big night in high school girls basketball last night. Your West Bloomfield Lakers, who are on a tear, are the defending state champion, beat Lake Orion last night 60-20. Wow. India Davis had 18 points. Summer Davis, her sister, had 14, but they didn't get to play most of the game because they were up so much that they were riding the bench. So good job, West Bloomfield over Lake Orion. Couple of notes, we'll continue to have more coverage of high school basketball live from West Bloomfield High School before the season is over. Mark your calendar for February 10th as West Bloomfield, the girls, take on Southfield A&T. The boys on February 17th take on Farmington. There's special activities for both both of those nights at the high school. We'll talk more about that later when we have more time, but we'll be there broadcasting live. We're going to do our very best to get you into the postseason. Both of these teams could go a long way this year in the MHSAA high school basketball tournament. All right, let's move on to something that is really near and dear to my heart and hopefully yours, and that is having a good meal. Taste of Kigo 2.0 Restaurant Week is right around the corner. It kicks off, and I think I got the dates right here. I had them, but oh, there it is. It kicks off January 30th, so next week, and runs through February 5th. We're excited to share that these restaurants, you can see them on your screen if the guys scroll around a little bit, there are the restaurants that will be participating in Restaurant Week at A Taste of Kigo. More information is available for you if you go to the Kigo Harbor webpage. It's kigoharbor.org, and a lot of good food on that page right there. So we encourage you to get involved in stop at the Brew House or Geno's or Harbor Steakhouse, Jaybird Jets, Kigo Sushi, and the others, of course, the Lodge on that list and others during Restaurant Week, and get out, have a lot of fun with all that. So that is the big news of the day. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. When we return, we check in with our good friend Lisa Kaplan of the Maplegrove Center at Henry Ford Hospital, West Bloomfield. She'll be here with us. We'll find out what's going on out there and get an update in just a moment. Thank you for joining us. Dave Scott here at Civic Center TV. You're watching The Splash, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Do you have a child going into kindergarten this fall? The West Bloomfield School District invites you to learn more about kindergarten at the Kindergarten Roundup. Principals and teachers are sharing their important information, including next steps for registration, kindergarten readiness, district-wide services, and more. Each family will also receive a free gift from the Team WB. We can't wait to meet you at the Kindergarten Roundup, Thursday, January 26th at the new West Bloomfield Middle School.
Hello, nose. My nose knows is when somebody uses the bathroom. Mom, Polly didn't flush. Ooh, I smell cookies. I smell an A+. How could my nose be running when it stays on my face?
Our noses know if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome back to The Splash Live. Dave Scott here on Civic Center TV and The Splash Live, and of course on all of our outlets, social media, on the web, and of course on 89.3 Lakes FM. 10 and 2, hold on tight to the steering wheel today. If you're out on the roads, be very, very careful. We'll continue to keep an eye on the weather. We have an amazing facility here in West Bloomfield. It's been here for quite a while. It's called the Maplegrove Center. It's right next to, kind of tucked in the woods, right next to West Bloomfield Henry Ford Hospital. An amazing residential rehabilitation facility that we know it's there, but we don't get a chance to learn more about it very often. And joining us now is Lisa Kaplan from Maplegrove Center. Lisa, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Did I get all that right, by the way? Just off the top of my head.
So it's Maplegrove.
Right.
Not Marygrove. Marygrove.
Oh, I said Marygrove. Okay. I knew I would mess something up this morning. This snow has got me all. Yes, Maplegrove. I do know that. Thank you. But other than that, I hope I got the rest of, all I got wrong was the name. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So Maplegrove is an amazing facility, and of course is there to help people who have drug and addiction problems here in our community. It's right here. Tell us, Lisa, for the people that know nothing about this facility, what is most important for people to know?
Okay, so we are very fortunate in our community to have Henry Ford Maplegrove Center. We are on the same campus as the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital, but in a separate building off to the west. And we do inpatient and outpatient treatment for adults 18 and up, And then we do outpatient treatment for adults 18 and up and adolescents 13 to 18. So I believe that it's an excellent treatment facility, and we help a lot of people with substance use disorder, which means alcohol and other drug addictions.
Well, and it's so important, and thank you for taking a minute to be with us, and thank you for recommending that we get together and have this conversation. It's so important to highlight this and to know that we have an amazing facility right here in our own backyard that's very helpful, as you mentioned, outpatient, and then you can have people there that can take advantage of the services from a residential, more of an inpatient status. Things have changed in this arena. There used to be such stigmas and a lack of understanding of the challenges of treating people that have a challenge with alcohol and drugs and other addictions. And now I think people understand, the community at large understands this is a disease like any other disease, and that has made, I think, the whole thing much better and easier to focus on and solve problems.
So you're partially right, Dave. There is still a stigma against substance use and mental health disorders. In part because of COVID, that stigma is lessening because there's so many more people who need these types of services because of the pandemic. So that's the good news, is that the stigma is reducing, but there are still plenty of people who believe that this is a choice, and it is not a choice. This is truly a disease. Henry Ford Health treats diseases. We don't treat bad choices or criminal minds. So that's the education that people need to understand, is that this is a disease, and it's a disease that can happen to any one of us, just like any other chronic or progressive disease.
And Lisa Kaplan, let's look at it from an individual standpoint. How would somebody know if they need this care, if they need to come to this facility and get some help?
Okay, that's a great question, Dave. First of all, if anybody's questioning that, they probably do need help. So what we do for people who don't know what level of care they need, they can call us and have a new patient evaluation done, or speak to our intake department to determine if they meet the criteria for inpatient treatment. Anybody who can't stop using without uncomfortable withdrawal symptoms needs to come inpatient for what we call detoxification services and then residential treatment. But not everybody qualifies for that. So we have intensive outpatient programs. We have individual one-on-one therapy. We have early recovery groups. So a person who isn't really sure what they need can call us and get a professional to help them figure that out.
So some people are going to figure this out on their own. Other people are going to need help from family members, or they might have run into some kind of a legal matter that pushes them in this direction as well. Can you talk about what family members can do to help loved ones that they're concerned about?
And that's a great question too. So this is a family disease. It impacts everyone in the family, even those who are not using. So we believe at Maplegrove that we need to help our family members as well. So every Thursday night, virtually, I run a free family program from 6 to 9 p.m. to educate family members on how to deal with this disease in the family and how to help themselves as well as how to help their loved one. So we have a skill building class, which are 6 lectures that rotate to educate family members, followed by a family support group. And anybody who's interested in getting information on that can contact me at Maplegrove, and I will happily pass along the information.
You mentioned COVID too, Lisa Kaplan, the Maplegrove Center, and that obviously has been a contributing factor. But
Yes.
but this isn't getting any easier. We've had the whole opioid crisis, and we have a lot of people that have become addicted to opioids to no fault of their own. They may have started out with some pain regimen and then found themselves in trouble with these very addictive drugs. And then, there are more and more synthetic drugs on the market that are crossing our border and are affecting so many people. It just seems like, I don't want to say it's a perfect storm creating a challenge for folks, but if anything, maybe it's getting more difficult right now.
Yeah. The fentanyl is now being laced in marijuana, in pills that you buy off the street, in cocaine. So this is a huge issue, and fentanyl is killing people. So you said we had an opioid crisis, but we still do. And people are still dying every day from this disease. So the sooner a person comes in to get help, the better their odds are of surviving this disease. Because left on the street to continue doing what they're doing, it is likely that some people will die.
Well, and it's so scary. Not only is fentanyl laced in other drugs, but it's packaged in a lot of ways that people taking some other primary medication that they might think is this might actually be fentanyl. And fentanyl is nothing to mess with. One dose can kill you. It's just so dangerous. Let's talk about how this amazing care is paid for. If I don't have a lot of money, am I going to be able to find some help and treatment? And what about insurance and other things like that?
Okay, so Maplegrove is funded by insurance or private pay only. But let's say a person can't afford to pay and they don't have insurance. Every county has a pool of money available through their local community mental health. In Oakland County, we call it the Oakland Community Health Network. And they will help people who are either uninsured or underinsured to get into a treatment program. It will not be at Maplegrove, but there's many other treatment programs that will help people, and it can be funded by the county. So there is no reason why somebody would have to say, I can't afford to get help. There is help out there. The other thing is the support group programs are free. So when we talk about support groups, we're talking about 12-step, like Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous. But there's Dharma Recovery, Smart Recovery, Celebrate Recovery. There's a whole host of support group programs at no cost at all.
So if you have a family member that needs some assistance, they certainly could pick up the phone and call you. And if they're not going to be able to work something out at Maplegrove, then I'm sure you're going to refer them to the right agency, or they could call the Oakland County Health Department and get a start. But really, all of this happens, Lisa, with somebody getting the process started, a family member, maybe the court system, and possibly a willing individual who has recognized they have a problem, they need some help.
You're right. People come in from various places, various precipitating factors, and it doesn't matter to us. If someone comes in here, we consider them to be voluntary, because even if the judge says go to treatment or go to jail and they choose treatment, they're voluntary. So once they come in with some medical care and good nutrition and time for their body and their mind to get less foggy and to heal, many people at that point then realize, yeah, I really do need to be here. So although they might have been forced by family or a judge, many people come to the realization that they need this kind of help.
Well, and Lisa Kaplan, too, we're so fortunate to have this facility right here in West Bloomfield. Not every community has a facility of this caliber within their township or city or county. And talk a little bit, if you will. This is a good time to be boastful and proud about the resource that we have here with Maplegrove and West Bloomfield.
Yeah, so I'm very proud of this facility. We opened in 1981. I believe that we are the premier treatment program in Michigan. I can tell you that my colleagues are committed to the cause. Okay, these are very skilled people who could work anywhere, in any other agency or facility, and they're choosing to be here. We are committed to helping people. And that's part of what I love about my job is I'm working with like-minded people who have a passion for this type of work, and it shows because our patients are very grateful and very appreciative of the help that they've gotten here because of our committed staff.
I'll never call you Mary Grove again. Sorry about that. I was in a daze. It's always rough for me first thing in the morning. Maplegrove, forgive me. And how do people get a hold of you, Lisa? If I mean, you're right on Maple Road. People can come in and I assume just drive right in and knock on your front door. But is there a better way?
Yeah, not really, because they have to have an appointment to come in, and we COVID test every patient before they come in. So you can't just show up at the door. If anybody wants to make an appointment, all they have to do is dial our main number. If you Google it, the number that will show up is 248-661-6100. If anybody wants to reach me about our family programs or to talk privately about anything that's going on, my direct line is 248-788-3005.
All right. Well, I apologize for all the things I got wrong in this interview. I don't like to prepare for these interviews because I want to make sure I ask the questions that everybody would ask. And so a lot of people that may be coming to get your services might have some misconceptions about Maplegrove and maybe even get the name wrong. Before we run along, Lisa Kaplan, I ran into, it was Monday. It seems like it was a week ago, Monday night, and you were with your good friends, Jack Freed's daughter and his wife, as the township board. I should mention your husband is Steve Kaplan. The township board was recognizing Pastor Freed. I know because I went to high school with you and the Freeds, and I just wonder if you have any personal thoughts. I know you're very close to the family.
Yeah, so I'm close with both daughters. We grew up across the street from them. They moved in 1969, so I've known the family since that time. And Pastor Freed was a great guy. As you know, he did wonderful things for our community, and he will be missed. His daughters are low-key people, but also wonderful people, and I treasure our friendship.
Well, they and their brother David, you're right. They're all very soft-spoken folks, but kind of like their father, but really engaging, really wonderful people. We all had the opportunity to go to high school together at West Bloomfield High School. It seems like it was a long time ago. Well, wait a minute. I just checked my watch. It was a long time ago. But it's, even under difficult circumstances, good to see everybody. And good to see you. You're so active in the community, and you and your husband, our township supervisor, are really living in the spirit of Jack Freed. Big commitment to our community. You're part of a coalition of people here in West Bloomfield that are making a difference every day, and I really appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate you too, Dave, but West Bloomfield's a great place to live. We're very, very happy here.
All right. Well, thank you for spending a couple of minutes. Let's keep in touch. And why don't you give out those phone numbers real quickly one more time? People might not have had time to write them down.
Okay. Our front desk, our main number is 248-661-6100. And the direct line to my desk for any of the family programs or to talk to me privately is 248-788-3005.
Lisa, good to be with you. Thank you for joining us on this snowy morning here in
Thanks
West
for
Bloomfield.
having me here.
Be careful on the roads today if you're traveling. Hey, that's going to be it for the show today. Thank you so much for joining us. Do take it easy on the roads. It's going to be increasingly treacherous, and be careful as you're clearing that snow in your driveway or your front walk. Have a great day. Dave Scott for Civic Center TV says so long. See you tomorrow morning on the Splash Live.